everyone, welcome back to Winging It with Yonela, and I am Yonela. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you watch until the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. So in this video I will be speaking about navigating death. Death is something that is very tragic to a lot of people, and I have experienced, death of loved ones. So I've experienced the death of my mother when I was 8, the death of my father last year, and the death of my mother-in-law. And those were very difficult things to navigate, because those were people that I loved a lot, and that it was difficult to deal, and because it's life, it's things that we have to navigate around, it's things that we need to face, to deal with, because when they happen, Ziti, I'm here, and deal with me right now. So I'll speak about the recent deaths, which is the death of my father and the death of my mother-in-law. And I think with those deaths, they impacted me quite a lot. And what I did first of all, before anything, was to cry. I had to cry, especially after my dad died. Like, I was there in that, glaucoma, or not coma, man, that ICU unit, and they said that they did their best, and the doctor said that no, he was going to come out of the ICU on Monday, and he was speaking to us, telling us that today is his birthday, and I'm like, and then he's speaking, and I'm like, oh, when's it gonna happen? And he just told us that he had died a few hours ago. Ooh. And at first I was surprised and I laughed because I was shocked. I'm like, how? I mean, I don't get it. Like, okay. And then I think 2 minutes after, I cried. I let it all. I screamed, I shouted, I really cried. The plane. So I cried and I screamed, and it was just, letting it all out. I let it all out. I really cried that day. I really cried, and maybe I took about 2 to 5 minutes crying, screaming, because I was shocked that, okay, he was here now. I just saw him and he was here, and now he's gone. And that was just, I couldn't imagine, but he's gone. Like, Utata has gone forever. Like, he's not coming back. And then I was like, okay, you know what, let me wipe my tears, and I want to see him so that I can, I can see him. And I held him and I touched him, and it was so cold. And even then I saw, and I looked at him, and I looked at his feet, like Nj, all of it. That's just, yeah, I was like, okay. Because they didn't trust me to like see him. They thought I was going to cry again the way that I cried, and I didn't cry. and obviously had to go home and speak to my sister, and with my sister I'm there like pretending, and it was just a mess when she cried. So with me and her, we grieved differently, you know, we cried differently. And with me, I was like, okay, there are things that I need to take care of, we need to sort out the funeral, but one thing that I was grateful for was the fact that I cried. Yeah, but I cried, and I cried a lot, and I screamed and everything. And science and everything, the funeral came and it passed, and it was really painful to live without my dad. And you know, there are people come bazokunga, and there's some sort of comfort there. Yeah, but there's some sort of comfort there. And with the death of my mother-in-law, I cried because I'm like mourning what could have become, you know. And she was such a wonderful lady, you know. She was such a mom. I was like, yo, God, you don't want me to have a mom, ne? Because what is this now? What is this? Like, I've lost a mom, and the opportunity that I get to have a mother. I'm so sorry for the planes, guys. The opportunity that I have to have a mother, like, you take it away. And that was so painful to me. But the way that I navigated those things, it was with the death of my father. I think people did come, they were there, like my friends more than anything showed up, family showed up and everything, you know, people. But I think the one thing that we couldn't have was imithandazo, where people can come and, you know, hold a prayer in the house, and, you know, but the people would come and go to imithandazo and all of that, so they would come and stuff. So it affected me a lot. It affected me a lot. I would be more I'm a very forgetful person, but I was more forgetful now. Things were no longer the same. Emsebenzini, I'm not doing as well as I did. There's just things that I need to come to terms with, that Utata has really gone. And fortunately, when my mom-in-law passed, I was not working, so I was able to be there and fully there and be immersed in, you know, learning first of all, but also serving. So that's the difference. What I learned with the death of my mother-in-law and Ukoya Islaling to the Eastern Cape was the fact that the community is such an important thing. It's such an important thing. Having people around you is such an important thing, because sometimes we think about, like, we take for granted the fact that there's people, yeah, because we think about, we need to cater to them, we need to serve them, we need to but when that community, those people, they come, yeah, to give comfort. And I think I don't want to take that for granted. The comfort that people bring, my uncle loves to say, variety is the spice of life. Because even when you are experiencing death, there are things you laugh about, you know, there's stories that are told about the person who's passed, and you laugh about that. And there are times you cry, there are times you laugh, there are times you reflect, you know, and all of those things, it happens at that space, at that point in time. So I learned that we are people who are in need of community. I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know, people, I believe that with things like mental illnesses, they've been there before, but sometimes it's so difficult to find them because of community. When we are in community, when we have community, we are able to heal. We are able to have those mental conditions masked. We are able to navigate around it, to live because of abantu. Yeah, but those people, we are going through a common thing, in as much as the severity is not the same, but we are going through a common thing, and because I'm there for you, I'm there to comfort. Yeah, but sometimes there are people, and it must be, when someone dies, there are people like you contribute imali, and so that you can help with the funeral arrangements, you can help with the catering, you can help with the things. And those people, there are people there who don't have that money, but their time, their presence means so much, and it brings so much comfort. So that it helps, you know, having people there helps. It helps with navigating the death experience. That's why when everyone leaves, it dawns on you, because now you are just alone and the person is not there, nyan. But when the people are there, it's busy. You can't see, like you don't notice much, but you know that there's something wrong, man. But you don't notice much because there's those people who are there to comfort. So I think I'm very appreciative of that, because that has helped me to navigate this experience, you know, because I had people, I had friends, I had family, you know, in the Eastern Cape. I had, you know, the people from the community, you know, my mom-in-law's friends and family members, and it was just so beautiful to see, so wonderful to see people coming together to come and bring peace and come and bring comfort and help and assist, because it becomes a lot. And I was just like, wow, the beauty in community. There's so much beauty in community. There's so much beauty in having people whom you can count on, who can comfort you. So I've been speaking about that, and that is what helped me a lot, you know, in navigating these dates. That okay, there are people around me, there are people who care about me, there are people, you know, who want to be there for me. So, and also I cried a lot, you know. I cried and I reflected, and I cried and I reflected. And the thing with grief, it's not one way. I pay. There was a quote that said, "Lana, you learn to live with the pain of death," or something like that. You learn to live with it. And there was another one that said, "Lana, when a person dies, the love is there, so but you can't give it to them because they're no longer there. So your heart is painful because you can't give that love anymore." So that's how it is. You want that person to be there. You want to love them. You want to see them. You want to call them. You know, I remember when after my dad passed, I called a lot. I called him, and I'm like, hey, this man doesn't even have a voicemail so that I can hear his voice. And I even haven't gotten to the place where I'm able to delete their numbers. I haven't. I'm not there yet. Yeah, but so with grief, it takes time. You learn to live with the pain. It's painful. It's excruciatingly painful, but you learn to live with it. You become better at dealing with it. You know, it does not go away. It does not go away. And grief, it holds you at the weirdest of times, because it's just like, so you think you're good, and then it brings a trigger, and then you're just like, why grief, why are you doing this to me? So yeah, that is how I've navigated death. Yeah, but through community, through, you know, looking at pictures, through remembering them, through speaking about them. You know, I speak about Odada quite a lot, and speak, you know, about umama and, you know, all of those things. Like, you speak about it. You speak about it, how it could have been. Yeah. So it's painful, but painful. It's really, really painful. But you learn to live with it. Whatever it is, I think what they've taught me also is the fact that xa kumnandi, enjoy. Xa kumnandi, enjoy. Kube mandi, because when these times come, you forget that kwakhe kwamnandi. You forget that there was nice times, and you forget, like completely forget. They get erased. So even when you get nice times, you forget that there were sad times, there were difficult times, and that's how my mind works, I guess. So I really think that should be a thing. Yeah, just to process and cry a lot and talk about it, talk about them, remember them, you know, keep their legacy alive. Yeah, guys. So yeah, death has quite affected me growing up. It affected me in my adulthood, and I believe it's still going to affect me because the pain never ends. But to learn to live better with it, you know, every time, every day, every month, it becomes better. You are able to. But grief comes at very unexpected times. Yeah. I think that it's time for me to end this video here, and I don't know if enjoyed is a good word to use, but I really hope that if you've experienced death of a loved one, may you find healing, may you find hope, may you find peace, and more than anything, may you be kind to yourself, may you cry a lot, may you speak about your loved one, and may you be able to live with that pain better. And when grief comes, allow it to happen to your body. You need to experience that pain. Don't avoid it. Embrace it. Go through it so that you can overcome and learn to live with it better, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, see you on the next video.